There comes a moment in every man's life where he has to make a decision. Not about her, but about himself. You gave her your time. You gave her your loyalty. You gave her a version of yourself that maybe you weren't even ready to give. And what did she do with it? She walked away. She ghosted. She tested your worth. She weaponized silence to control you. And now you're pacing around, overthinking, wondering if you should break the silence first. Stop. Don't you dare chase her. Don't you dare beg for someone who thought you were disposable. Let her sit in that silence. Let her wonder why the man who once showed up with his heart in his hands suddenly disappeared. Let her replay your last words, analyzing every syllable, realizing too late that you were the real one. Because here's the truth. When a man pulls back his energy, truly pulls it back, women feel it in their bones. And if she really cared? She'll panic in that space you created. She'll feel the coldness of your absence like winter hitting bare skin. And if she didn't care? Then thank God you didn't chase her. You're not here to chase approval. You're here to build value. And the man who values himself never fights for a spot in someone else's life. So hold your silence. Wear it like armor. Let your absence teach the lesson your presence never could. Pulling back your energy is a power move, not a punishment. It is the silent declaration that you are no longer available to be taken for granted. When a man gives his time, attention, emotional support, and presence, he is investing something incredibly valuable. Most people overlook that energy is currency. It's not free. And when someone chooses to abuse, ignore, or manipulate that energy, withdrawing it isn't about getting revenge, it's about restoring balance. It's not an act of spite. It's an act of self-respect. People tend to chase what is scarce and overlook what is abundant. When you're constantly available, constantly reaching out, constantly showing up for someone who doesn't reciprocate, you become an expectation instead of a gift. Your presence becomes white noise. But when you pull back, not with drama, not with threats, but with calm indifference, you shift the dynamic completely. Suddenly, the person who once ignored your value feels the void you left behind. The silence screams. The lack of attention hits deeper than 1,000 arguments ever could. Pulling back doesn't mean you're playing games. It means you're done giving to someone who only took. It means you understand that not everyone deserves access to you. It means your peace is more important than their confusion. And yes, it hurts. Especially when you cared deeply. Especially when you saw potential in someone who didn't see the same in you. But that pain is fuel. It's the kind of pain that transforms you, that wakes you up to your own worth. Too many men confuse being emotionally available with being emotionally submissive. They think loyalty means endurance at any cost. But real strength is knowing when enough is enough. It's knowing that begging for attention, over-explaining your feelings, or chasing someone who clearly doesn't want to be caught is the fastest way to lose your power. By pulling back your energy, you're not trying to make her miss you. You're not hoping she realizes what she lost. That might happen, but that's not your focus. Your focus is you. Your healing. Your growth. Your ability to stand tall in the face of silence and not flinch. Because when you stop chasing, you stop bleeding emotionally. You reclaim every part of yourself that was slowly being drained by one-sided effort. You teach others that your time is precious. That your love comes with standards. And if those standards aren't met, you won't shout or complain, you'll just walk. Quietly. Confidently. And that, right there, is the power. Not everyone deserves your presence. And once you realize that, you become dangerous. Because now you understand that your energy is not a gift you hand out for free, it's something others must earn. And if they don't treat it with the respect it deserves, you pull it back. Not to punish them, but to protect yourself. That is the move. That is the shift. That is the beginning of everything changing. Let her suffer in the space you created. Let her sit with the silence. Let her feel the absence of your presence, your voice, your attention, the very thing she once took for granted. Not because you're trying to hurt her, but because you're finally choosing not to hurt yourself. You see, when a woman pushes you away, disrespects your effort, plays games with your heart, or simply acts like you're replaceable, the worst thing you can do is chase her. The best thing you can do? Disappear. Withdraw. Create space so vast that she begins to drown in it. This space isn't just physical. It's emotional, mental, spiritual. It's the vacuum created when a man who once gave everything now gives nothing. You were once a constant, a good morning text, a dependable call, a steady presence in her life. You were the one she could count on when no one else was listening. But she got comfortable. Maybe even arrogant. She thought you'd never leave. She thought she could push boundaries and still have you waiting on the other side. But now? There's nothing. And that nothing will say more than any words ever could. This is where the suffering begins. It's not instant. It creeps in slowly. At first, she might feel empowered, thinking you're playing games or trying to manipulate. But as time goes on, as the days stretch into weeks and you still haven't come crawling back, doubt begins to set in. She checks her phone more often. Wonders why your name hasn't popped up. Starts looking through old messages, replaying old memories, scrolling through pictures trying to feel something she never appreciated when it was right in front of her. Let her wrestle with that. Let her feel the echo of your absence in her routines. Let her wake up one morning and realize the silence isn't a phase, it's your new standard. The very thing she underestimated is now the thing she longs for. And whether she ever reaches out or not doesn't matter, because the space has already done its job. It has reminded her of your value. It has exposed the difference between attention and connection. And it has made it clear, you're no longer the man who begs, you're the man who walks. And if she does come back, it won't be because you chased. It'll be because she felt the weight of what she lost. And if she doesn't, you'll know with absolute clarity that your absence revealed the truth her presence always hid. That she wasn't yours to keep. Either way, you win. Because the space you created didn't just teach her a lesson, it reminded you of your own strength. You stopped proving your worth to someone who was blind to it, and in doing so, you proved it to yourself. That's where the real power lives, in the space where you finally chose yourself. Chasing lowers your value. It tells the other person that your time, your energy, your presence, all of it, can be taken for granted. It signals desperation, even if your intentions are pure. In the world of attraction, respect is everything. And the moment you start over-pursuing someone who isn't meeting you halfway, you begin to lose that respect, both from them and from yourself. Because the truth is, value is perceived through behavior. If you're constantly reaching, calling, texting, showing up uninvited, apologizing for things you didn't even do, you're silently telling the other person that they are above you. That you need them more than they need you. And that's the quickest way to become invisible in their eyes. There's a reason people tend to want what they feel they can't fully have. It's human nature. Scarcity breeds desire. But when you chase, you destroy the very sense of mystery and strength that could have pulled someone toward you. You reveal your entire hand too early. You show that you're willing to accept less just to keep them in your life. And what happens next? They test you. They delay replies. They become colder. They see how much they can take before you finally walk away, but you don't. You chase harder, thinking effort will fix everything, not realizing it's that very effort that's being used to measure your self-worth. Chasing also disrupts your personal growth. Instead of focusing on your goals, your peace, your evolution, you become consumed with trying to fix, impress, or win over someone who isn't reciprocating. You lose yourself trying to hold on to someone else. And eventually, when it all collapses, you're not just heartbroken, you're empty. Because you gave all your power away trying to be chosen, instead of choosing yourself. Love, respect, and real connection are not earned through begging or proving. They're built through mutual interest, mutual effort, and mutual standards. When one side chases while the other withdraws, there is no balance. And without balance, there is no real relationship, only emotional survival. And then there's the inner damage. Every time you chase someone who doesn't value you, you reinforce a narrative in your mind, that you must work to be loved, that you are not enough as you are, that silence from them means you should try harder. That's a toxic cycle. It's hard to escape. But the moment you stop chasing, you break it. You start choosing dignity over desire. You begin to remember your worth isn't based on someone else's validation, it's rooted in your own belief about who you are. Walking away when you're being undervalued isn't weakness, it's power. It's strength. It's a man saying, I refuse to lower myself to be seen. I'd rather be alone than be treated like I'm replaceable. That mindset doesn't just raise your value in the eyes of others, it rebuilds your value in your own. And that's where true confidence begins. If she cared, she'll come back. If she didn't, you've dodged a bullet. That one sentence can carry a man through the storm of silence and unanswered questions. When someone walks away, ignores you, or disappears without explanation, your mind spirals. You start wondering what you did wrong, how you could have fixed it, what you should have said differently. But the truth is simpler than we like to admit. When someone cares, they show it. They don't let distance stretch too long. They don't allow silence to be the final word if their heart is truly invested. So if she walked and hasn't looked back, that speaks volumes, not about your worth, but about her priorities. A woman who genuinely values you won't be able to stay away. Maybe she needs time. Maybe she needs clarity. But real care has a way of finding its way back. It doesn't sit comfortably in pride or ego. It aches. It stirs. It remembers. And if there was something real between you, something genuine and deep, she'll feel the weight of your absence more than you feel hers. She'll recall your support, your laughter, the way you showed up when no one else did. And if she truly cared, those memories will haunt her until she realizes what she walked away from. That's when the call comes. The message. The attempt to reconnect. Because care always circles back, it can't help itself. But if she never comes back? That's your blessing in disguise. It's easy to see it as rejection, as failure. But it's not. It's revelation. You've been spared. You've been shown the truth early, before you gave more, invested deeper, or built a future on a shaky foundation. The worst kind of pain isn't losing someone who never cared. It's wasting years trying to convince them to. So if her silence stays loud, if her absence becomes permanent, let it. Because you've dodged a bullet that would have hit you harder down the line. It's hard to accept, especially when your emotions are still tangled in her presence. You remember the good times. You remember the potential. You remember what you thought it could be. But feelings aren't facts. And if her actions don't align with care, then it wasn't real. Or at least, it wasn't enough. And you deserve more than almost. You deserve more than someone who leaves you questioning your value. The woman meant for you won't play hide and seek with her emotions. She'll be clear. She'll be consistent. She'll meet you where you are, not leave you stranded in confusion. So let her go. Let time do its work. If her heart still beats for you, she'll find her way back. But if it doesn't, walk away with your head high. You didn't lose something valuable, you avoided something damaging. And that, in the long run, is one of the greatest wins a man can have. You're not disposable. No matter how someone treated you, how easily they let you go, how quickly they replaced you, or how coldly they responded to your vulnerability, you are not something that can be thrown away when it's convenient. The problem is, when someone makes you feel like an option instead of a priority, you start to believe that maybe you weren't good enough. You question your worth based on their inability to see it. But someone else's blindness doesn't diminish your value. Just because they failed to appreciate you doesn't mean you were unworthy, it means they weren't capable of recognizing depth, loyalty, and authenticity when it was right in front of them. You brought your presence, your time, your effort, your honesty. You brought moments of clarity, laughter, support, and consistency. That's not disposable. That's rare. But in a world that celebrates instant gratification and superficial connections, realness often goes unnoticed until it's gone. So when someone treats you like a placeholder, when they disappear without explanation or play games with your emotions, it says more about them than it ever could about you. People throw away what they don't understand and run from what they're not ready for. And sometimes, they discard what threatens their comfort zones, because someone who truly shows up forces them to face parts of themselves they're not willing to confront. But here's what you need to understand: being let go of doesn't mean you're less valuable. In fact, sometimes it's the biggest confirmation that you were too much of the real thing for someone who only wanted temporary thrills. You are not a backup plan. You are not a benchwarmer for someone's indecisiveness. You are not a break from their boredom or a fix for their loneliness. You are not disposable, because your energy, your presence, your love, it carries weight. And anything that carries weight can't be picked up and thrown around carelessly. It's easy to take rejection personally. But the truth is, many people don't even know what they want. They chase what's shiny, what's easy, what's new. Then they realize too late that depth doesn't come with convenience. And while they may have treated you like an afterthought, they'll remember you when the noise quiets down. They'll remember how safe it felt to talk to you. How real your words were. How calm your presence was. And by then, you may be long gone, because once you remember who you are, you no longer beg to be kept. You don't have to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it. You don't have to chase, explain, or shrink yourself just to be tolerated. You weren't made to be temporary. You weren't meant to be forgotten. And when you finally step back and hold your energy with the respect it deserves, you'll start attracting people who treat it the same way. Because deep down, you already know it, you're not disposable. You never were. Self-respect is louder than words. It's not about what you say, it's about what you tolerate, what you walk away from, and what you choose to no longer accept. It's in your silence when someone crosses a line and you no longer feel the need to argue. It's in your distance when someone doesn't value your presence. It's in your ability to let go without begging for closure, validation, or understanding from someone who never tried to offer it in the first place. You don't need to scream your worth. You don't need to convince anyone of what they should have already seen. When you carry self-respect, your actions do all the talking. People notice when you stop explaining yourself. They notice when you no longer chase, when you stop showing up for someone who took you for granted. The shift is quiet but powerful. You don't seek revenge, you don't make a scene, you simply remove your energy from places that don't honor it. That's self-respect. It's not rooted in ego or pride, it's rooted in truth. The truth that you deserve peace, effort, reciprocity, and honesty. And when those things aren't being offered, you don't lower your standards. You raise your boundaries. Self-respect isn't about winning arguments or proving a point. It's about knowing when something is beneath you, not because you think you're better than others, but because you've finally realized how much you've grown. You know the cost of peace, and you know the pain of self-betrayal. Every time you stayed when you should have walked away, every time you let someone back in who already showed you their true colors, you chipped away at your own dignity. And the moment you decide to stop doing that, everything changes. That quiet decision, that internal shift, speaks louder than any speech you could ever give. People may not always understand your silence, your distance, or your boundaries, but that's not your problem. You don't owe anyone an explanation for putting yourself first. You've spent enough time trying to be understood, trying to be liked, trying to be chosen. Self-respect doesn't beg to be chosen, it chooses itself. It knows that anyone who can't meet you with the same level of maturity, effort, and respect simply doesn't deserve access to your life. And here's the thing, when you hold that level of self-respect, you naturally attract people who respect you too. You stop entertaining the bare minimum. You stop giving chances to people who see your kindness as weakness. You walk differently. You speak differently. You carry a quiet strength that doesn't need to be validated, because it comes from within. And the people who truly see you, feel that. They know they're dealing with someone who knows their worth, and they either rise to meet you or fall away on their own. Either way, you win not because you said the right thing, but because you became the right thing. That's the power of self-respect, it doesn't just speak, it echoes. So don't chase. Don't beg. Don't try to remind her of your worth with words. Your absence will speak for you. Your silence will echo louder than any message ever could. Let her sit in the space where your energy used to be. Let her feel the difference between being wanted and being tolerated. If she truly valued you, she'll realize what she lost. And if she doesn't? Then let her go with grace. Because a man who knows his worth doesn't run after anyone. He stands firm, knowing that losing someone who couldn't recognize his value is not a loss, it's a reset. This is your power. Reclaim it. Hold the line. And let the space you left behind do what your chasing never could.